Hello everybody, welcome back. It's Jordan here. Today we're going to continue working on the changes that were recently made to the Lego City. The first thing I've decided to do is change up some of the base plates here on the beach. Like I mentioned in my previous video when we started these changes, the water is now going to stretch from the ocean here all the way in front of these road plates, and there's going to be a nice boardwalk right on the water and in front of Town Hall. Before we continue with that awesome Lego City update, I want to clear the air about something. In recent videos, I've mentioned that I want to try and acquire a larger studio space so we can make better YouTube videos. There were about 20 comments or so saying, how can I support this? Start a GoFundMe, do some sort of crowdfunding. So I did decide to do that, and I mentioned it in one video, and we raised $1,273.59. Oh, wow, that is crazy. Thank you so much for the support. There's also been a lot of negative controversy about that page and about the GoFundMe and how I shouldn't have done that. There's been an Instagram feed and an unbelievable amount of negative comments about that. So I want to clear the air about it, and I've decided to close the GoFundMe, and I've also donated all of the money, and I've personally matched it. So I've made a $2,500 donation to the Stollery Children's Hospital. I've decided that I want to give that back to children. Thank you so much to everybody who donated to that page. I highly appreciate it. Note that we will get a bigger studio so you can enjoy better content. I highly appreciate it, but I just had to get that off my mind. I wanted to help kids, specifically the Stollery Children's Hospital, because Millie, my daughter, my oldest daughter, there you go. She'll be holding that over Ben's head forever. But yeah, Millie was recently admitted to the Stollery Children's Hospital, actually on December 23rd, so 2 days before Christmas, and she got amazing service. The staff there are absolutely beautiful. They just took care of her in just an incredible way. And you know what? It's actually pretty cool because she actually met Connor McDavid. Jose and Millie were there, and Connor McDavid was doing his rounds right before Christmas, and they didn't even take a picture to show Dad. Oh, I can't believe it. But yeah, I've decided to donate the full amount and match it and give it back to the Stollery Children's Hospital. We're helping children. I know this won't clear my name. I know it's not going to do anything, but it's going to make me feel so much better. So thank you to everyone who donated. I highly appreciate it. And yeah, let's get back to the awesome Lego City update. This plate used to be right there where that hammock is, and it was green. So I have to switch it up to blue because all of our water, of course, is based on blue plates. Also had to get 4 half base plates for right here. Look at this guy up here. And look at this guy down here. That actually looks pretty cool because now the Ferris wheel platform's supports actually go into the water. I've got to blend all this in here and then, of course, add all the water detail as well. That is going to be rather part intensive. And unfortunately right now, I know I'm going through some part constraints because I no longer have all of these dark trans blue elements called the random ones. I've got a lot of the cheese slopes, but not a whole lot of the studs. And same with the light trans blue ones too. That's an issue. That's the problem with this style of water, even though it looks really good, is that these parts are quite limited. In fact, when I went to the brick bin in Calgary, I bought their entire bin of trans blue elements, and that's how I was able to do this. But I've pretty much depleted it with this ocean here. That's why when building other bodies of water, I didn't do that. For example, right here, it's all trans blue 1x2 tiles. And then over here, it's a combination of different plate colors and also the waves with those cheese slopes that I do have a lot of. With that in mind, I'm sort of stuck. I really don't know what to do with the water because I don't have the parts to do it this way all the way along. Do I change it all to the trans blue 1x2 tiles? This looks so cool though. Do I wait to do this water detail until I have more pieces so I can make it all like this? What would you do? I don't know. Might have to drive down to Calgary and wipe them out again, eh? This is what I've done for our boardwalk, but it's built with cement. Okay, sure. But yeah, it's masonry bricks there in dark and light gray to represent wet and dry bricks. And then I've got some plates there, just going to top it just like a Mills plate. And it actually comes 1 brick higher than our sidewalk. I've come to the conclusion that I will not be adding water detail until I get more pieces to do so, but I will taper off all of the sand and just add whatever detail I can until I get all of those water parts. The sand looks a lot better when it's blended in like that there, and I did it underneath the pier as well. So I'm filming this on Saturday, and I'm lucky enough to have my helper here. His name is Simon. So I've built this here. He's going to replicate that. So we should be able to get the boardwalk done today. He's also going to start working on the train track. We're going to try and get the train track back connected. That's the raised line. So it's going to go around this pillar here, go to the center of the road, turn around that corner, and then connect right over there. So that's good. That we'll probably be able to get that all done today for sure. Now my eyes turn over here to the campground and farm. There's a lot of open space and a lot of ideas that I have for this area. Like I've been mentioning, I want to add some sort of elevation to the campground here. Originally, I thought I would be doing it over here, but just the creek and the fact that the zoo is right here and the Ninjago Mountain, I think there's enough elevation here for now. And if I build a big hill or whatever right here, it's going to block the Ninjago Mountain and block the zoo, and I'd have to work around the creek as well. I was thinking it could come up here, and then there could be like a bridge going over top of the creek, and then there could be the same elevation on the other side, and that's where the A-frame cabin is. That would be pretty neat, but getting a four-sided hill here with a sharp edge to the creek would look sort of random and out of place in my opinion. Ultimately, what should be done is the entire campground and farm should just be ripped apart and we should start from scratch. I really don't want to do that though, because I put so much effort into this area. Like, this road is embedded into the Mills Plate. The creek is also embedded into the Mills Plate. So ripping it all apart, oh my gosh, that just gives me the heebie-jeebies. I'm not going to do that. That's crazy. Like, that's insane. But I just don't know where you can put a hill in here. Where are you going to put a four-sided hill that takes up a lot of space? You're straight up not going to be able to do that unless you move the farm. So that's what I'm going to do. The farm is right here. It's this 48 by 48 plate that can be removed. And it's that 48 by 48 plate back there that has the barn, chicken coop, and also the creek. Based on that, you can move the farm pretty easily. Got these two 48 by 48 plates open right here. So what I'm going to do is take the farm and put it right here. I actually think that looks pretty good. The issue is the creek is still running on the back of the farm plate because it's built right into the 48 by 48 plate. So the easiest thing for me at this point will be to build a second 48 by 48 plate and then transfer all of this farm stuff because it is just right there. I also have to fix my table, but that there is going to transfer onto the new plate, and then I don't have to rebuild the creek because anything that's embedded into the Mills Plate is difficult to transfer. This stuff right here, like these horses and everything, are going to be way easier to transfer. And then there's the pumpkin patch right here. What I'm going to do is put the pumpkin patch on the back side, so then there's a little entrance right there so people can come buy pumpkins. And then this road plate right here is going to have to be rendered, and so is this gravel road. So then there will be two entrances, one that leads to the farm and one that leads to the campground. And then we have this massive spot right over here. I'll tell you more about that in one moment. First, I've got to fix up this farm. I'm ready to make the transfer. Look at all that color. Come on, can you name a cuter Lego animal than a baby horse? Look at that thing. The barn stayed intact though. It's fully transferred. Check it out. We got some green plate here that needs to be separated. You take two brick separators, you hold it down, and it just pops them off. This is actually stronger than the black art brick separator, and it works every time. Pretty cool, eh? It's the way to do it. Sort of a nuisance, but this is how we pack cups. It's how we get the most amount of plate in our pad cup. Rendered this road, so it should work. I've got to replace this curve here. Definitely not going to rip apart my curve though. I like having one of those in back stock at all time. I'll create a new custom road with some gravel that matches up with the two entrances. But yeah, the farm's looking pretty good. I've got to fence it all off. Unfortunately, I am out of these fence elements here, but I have put the pumpkin patch right back there. Skeleton, carrots, pumpkins, a little black cat on the fence there, Looking pretty good. And I made this little gravel road pull-in as well. I'll have to render this sidewalk so it matches up with that. There we go. The farm's all fenced off. I like that little hidden detail just behind these buildings here. Little pumpkin patch, right? Looks pretty good. It fits in that area perfect. Now it's on 2 48 by 48 plates. Simon finished off the raised walkway here beside the ocean. And then we also added a railing using the upright clips and the gold flex tubing. I think that looks pretty snazzy there. The next thing we're working on is repairing the raised train track. With the modified road plate installed, the farm is pretty much done and I'm ready to move on to the next task. I just connected this gravel road as well. Now I'm thinking about these 2 plates back here with the A-frame cabin. This sidewalk right here used to go along the zoo fence and meet up with the trail that leads up to the Ninjago Mountain. I don't think that needs to be concrete anymore. That can probably just be a trail, like a trailhead, right? Doesn't really make sense that it was concrete to begin with. Honestly, I'm thinking of just creating 2 massive Mills plates for now. Yeah, the 48 by 48 Mills plates with all the green plate and brick might be the easiest way to start. I still want to do some sort of elevation here for the A-frame cabin. I guess I'm going to haul that over to my desk right now and try and figure something out. And yeah, we're still going to talk about this area over here in this video. With the A-frame at my desk here, I realized that this is a complicated task because the creek runs right here on this plate. If I'm trying to elevate the A-frame, there's not a whole lot of space to do that, even if it's 2 or 3 bricks. If I elevate it on this side, I've sort of got to elevate it on this side as well, and then have a bridge going over top of the creek leading to the A-frame, which is going to have to be there either way. Might look pretty neat because it'd be like a steep bank, but the issue is there is no steep bank here. So to all of a sudden have a steep bank for the creek right here just makes 0 sense to me. But what I'm thinking is the plate in front maybe can have a fishing pond of sorts, and then the creek with the trail leading up to the Ninjago Mountain, and then the A-frame behind with a bridge going over top of the creek. And maybe I can get away with elevating the A-frame 1 or 2, 3 bricks at most. And I'm thinking this is a huge project. Our day is already like 3/4 through. So I've got to save that for another day because that is a big project. It's a lot of parts going into that Mills plate and just a lot of detail that has to be crammed into that. And if I do that, I want to have a fresh mind and do it in one day. So I am going to save the A-frame cabin integration for another day. But we've got a wicked plan for over here. I sound like a broken record once again. I want to add elevation to the campground. And we are going to do it in an epic way right here. It's going to be on 3 half base plates and 2 48 by 48 base plates. So at first I was thinking this was going to be a big grassy hill, 4-sided hill. And it takes up a lot of space because you got to think you're going to have a gradual incline on all 4 sides. If you want to go up 1 brick, that's 3 studs because that's 3 plates unless you use slopes. And then if you do the math, you want to go up 4, 5, or 6, and you got to do it on all 4 sides, it ends up consuming a huge amount of space. You can actually see a good example of that down here where we currently have the winter village. So if you want to go up however many bricks this is, you can see how gradual the slope has to be. And if you want to do that on all 4 sides, this ends up consuming quite a bit of space. But this is sort of what I wanted to do. Not snow, but grass, a grassy hill. And I did that all with plates and curved slopes, and you could integrate slopes into there to help you save space. So that's the hill I want to build, like some sort of large mound or something. Not a mountain. I've done so much rock work, it's insane. But now I'm thinking maybe we need to do some rock work. And maybe we need to do a little bit of sloped grass work. And that's what we're going to do in this spot. So the grass work, or the whatever plate work, is going to be on this side. So it's going to be a gradual hill going up, once again, on those plates there, with the creek running through the back connecting to the ocean. We're going to move this, because that doesn't belong there. This is going to be actually upgraded to the Tiki Bar rebrickable model and reintegrated into the beach somewhere. How about right there? That looks perfect. And then we're going to take our lighthouse that has a rocky theme to it and put it in that corner there. And the backside of this hill is going to be cliff edges and rocks that match up with the lighthouse. These cliff edges and rocks might come one of these rock panels tall, maybe two at most, and then it'll sort of taper off and blend in with this lighthouse. So over here, it's going to become rocky and cliff edgy, and that's going to blend in with this hill. So the campground will now be positioned in sort of a valley. It's got a rocky cliff edge from here. It's going to go down, and then you got the campground, and then you got the Ninjago Mountain on the far side. What I like about this concept is that it's going to give us some height in the foreground, whereas if we do height over there, it might block the zoo or the Ninjago Mountain, or if we do it in the middle of the campground, it might look out of place. And honestly, I think it's really cool to get some sort of mountainous hill up front here, and I think it'll blend in really well with the ocean and the lighthouse. See, I've decided that the hill/cliff edge will be only one of these rock panels tall. It's just going to add a nice elevation point here, and it'll have a big flat top, and then of course the creek will run down the side of it as well. Be a really good way to blend in this lighthouse here and just create a little bit of elevation there, and just do something a little bit different on this end of the campground. The raised train line is coming along decent. We've got the modified curve right here so that it can go right around the pillar. It actually uses a curve, then two straights, and then another curve, and those are all nicely tiled off there. Same with the straights in front of Town Hall. Then we've got a complete curve right here, and we just ran out of time. It's not quite connected yet. I don't know what I'm going to do with that Simon character, you know. I had to fix it for him after he left. I had to get this connected properly. Oh, I'm just kidding, buddy. You did great work today. It looks good. But yeah, I fixed it up here, and it's solid now. I've built a lot of raised train track. Believe me, I know how to connect this stuff pretty well. Although that doesn't really look like safe there for traffic, does it? No, not at all. But hey, you know what? We got lots of stuff done today. The raised line is on the verge of being done. Honestly, I could probably get that done in like 20 minutes. Probably should do it, but my night is coming to an end here right away after editing. This looks super good. Really happy with that. Can't wait to get more of those pieces to do the water. Make that nice and detailed. I'm really excited about this here. That is going to be amazing. That's the cliff edge hill. The new position for the farm looks awesome, and I've got a really good idea for the A-frame cabin. So that's what I'm going to be working on tomorrow. Getting that A-frame cabin mills plated on two 48 by 48 plates. It's going to have some nice scenery in front of it, that's for sure. Everybody, I hope you enjoyed this LEGO City update. Remember, like, subscribe, and stay tuned. Farewell.